live. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I need to swap back to my rightful position, Randy.
I know that was a little off-putting. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing on that side.
But welcome to today's live stream where we're going to be talking about the power of short form video, going alongside the last few weeks where we've spoken about video stuff. So, patience, everyone. Geez, I'm not having a good day here, Randy. I just heard myself talking back there. But anyway, we are sponsored by the news guy. The logo is above him now, and the link is below. And like I say,
where's my other logo? Usually, there it is. It is up there. Okay,
yeah,
never mind. I got it.
So
don't pay attention to the bald guy.
You're not having much of a good day either. But yeah, I'm all over the place today. My camera wasn't working, guys. While we're talking about the power of short form video, I can't even get the basics, get my camera working right prior to coming on here. So it's made me slightly flustered. But it is what it is. We're here now. That's the main thing.
I know, don't you hate that? And I always get, and I have to be honest with you, I am still getting acquainted with Restream. I think I told you, a few weeks ago, I switched over to Restream. And some of it has been great, but I because it's a completely different platform. And so when I go live, I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I feel like I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
It throws you massively. Like, because you used StreamYard before, right?
No, I was using a couple of other things before that I thought was an issue, but I don't know. But anyway.
But yeah, I think just that slight change where things are still not set up. And even now, Randy, I've done a few, and I need to, I don't know why, but every time I have to come in, I need to put your logo up there manually. I need to go into design and then go and click on the logo. Whereas I used StreamYard before, and that once I put your logo there, every time I recorded, your fucking logo was there. So
yeah. Like once you kind of set up a template, it's kind of there. And maybe Restream has got that, and I haven't, I don't know, dug in deep enough or something. I don't know. But the whole thing we're going to get way off topic here, but the whole thing on Restream, and it's got like the scenes or whatever that you do when you're in your seat, right? When you're the host, and you can have these different scenes for when you want to share a video or share an image or a screen or something. And in my previous platform, I was using wave.video. I could stage like multiple scenes or screens and just click between them whenever I wanted to. Well, here on Restream, it doesn't allow me to do that without like completely overpowering the other one. And I'm like, I don't understand that, but I don't know.
It's madness. It's madness. But I'm just not good for change, Randy. That's the problem.
Yeah,
You start throwing even something very, very small, you're throwing a spanner in my works. It's just unfortunate. I'm just getting to that age now where change is not good. I can't adapt as much as I want to.
Yeah. Well, believe me, I've hit that age milestone, and I'm like well over on the other side. I'm like, hell no, I'm not changing.
Nah, got to keep fighting. Got to keep fighting.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are rolling. By the way, everybody, just like, subscribe, follow to Craig on any of the channels. You got questions, drop them in the chat in the message section there, and we will get to them. You want to just drop on, get your name and light, say hi. Craig can do that as well. That's always fun.
We can.
Yeah. So today I threw up the idea about, we've been talking about video, a little bit of video production. I thought we'd talk a little bit about short form video to get a sense of that, because I have to be honest with you, I do not put an iota of thought into the reels that we do, and it's purely because the gal on our team, she just takes my video content that we put out, or if I'm doing it on like our live stream, the hot off the press, and then she just creates. I think she uses what is that one that I use? I have to go look at it now. But what is that? Opus Clip. She uses Opus Clip and just makes the kind of the reels or the shorts from that.
Yeah.
And that's all we do, and just repost it. Now, is that right? I'm guessing probably not, but
yes and no. Tommy Butler's here, by the way, and Supreme SEO is also here. Good to see you guys. But yes and no. I think Opus Clip's a great tool, but the biggest problem you've got, if you take a 16-second reel and smash that out across all of the different platforms, just out the box, I feel that if you put that in TikTok first, for example, that TikTok gets the credit for it. It's like plagiarized content, and then it looks like you've copied and pasted this fucker and put it on Instagram and on Facebook and everything else. So your reach is not great on a lot of the other platforms because of that. So I feel that when I've been doing it, that's what my general feeling is. So I would use different clips on different platforms, if that makes sense. Or slightly shorten it or slightly add to it or whatever it may be. So you might put a 16-second clip in of us talking about this, for example. Now, that's fine for TikTok. Then if you go to Instagram, I'd maybe put up a 23-second clip. I would try and make it completely different topic, a different part of the thing, because when you use Opus Clip, you're getting about 30 or 40 clips anyway. And why would you keep trying to regurgitate the same information out there and out there and out there? And in my opinion, and I've seen this happen, Randy, if I put one clip out and it goes in TikTok and I don't put it anywhere else, it goes reasonably well.
You get better visibility.
Yeah. When you start putting it across multiple platforms at the same time, I don't think the reach is there. And I see it, and it's just my own head.
That is interesting. I never actually really kind of thought about that. I think what we've done, so I've got a couple of questions for you, and I'll tell you what we do. And one, I don't have TikTok, so I don't put it out onto TikTok. But what we do is that it gets loaded up into our various channels, and it just all we use View Vista, I think is what it's called, to essentially schedule out our posts, including the reels or the shorts. And so I'd say it all goes out at Monday at noon. Boom, they all head out all at the same time. Now, relatively, it's all going to distribute when one gets hit to another platform, a few seconds later or something like that. So I wonder if that, still makes the sense. Now,
it doesn't, in my opinion. It really doesn't.
You think it does? I wonder. I would love to hear, audience man, if you chime in on that, because I think that's really as interesting in regards to Tommy. So Thomas, you agree, huh?
I would say Tommy agrees, and Tommy is a guy like you, Randy. I'm making the assumption that Tommy would rather do what you do and shell it all out, or using one platform and fucking smash it out, because Tommy's got a whole bunch of websites, and Tommy probably would use that social media automation. I'm going to make the assumption that Tommy has done that and went, something not right here. I'm not getting the visibility that I should. And that's where I'm saying, like, if I crank something out on TikTok, only in TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, it doesn't matter what the platform is. If I crank that out only on that one platform, that particular video, then it's going to go absolutely viral, or not absolutely viral. It's not every video I put out goes
But
absolutely
you'll
viral.
just see that it'll get
But
better.
you'll go, that goes well. It's when you start to put that out across multiple platforms at the same time, the exact same clip, it does not have the same impact. Now, you've got to think of this, Randy. Let's say you put up the funniest bastard and fucking reel ever, the funniest fucking thing. Do you think I can really just download that and fucking whack it in mine and get similar traction? They have to be looking, and obviously they can see the transcripts and they can see everything else. So, that for me is like pure plagiarism. And why couldn't I then take Beyonce's video, where she's shaking her ass or whatever, something that goes viral, rather than me shaking my ass, So
That's it. That's a great video right there. Like a side by side. Who does it
probably
better, right? Who wears it better, Craig or Beyonce? Craig, Beyonce.
my hairy fat white ass is not good. Not good. But Tommy said yes there again. I make the assumption that Tommy's probably tried that method, like what you're doing, Randy, and not having the desired results. So I'm not saying don't use Vista Social. What
Right.
I would do, so if
Just
I'm
staging
trying
up
to,
differently.
I would say go on Vista Social, and what would happen is I would take that 16-second clip and I would go and schedule it out for tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then I'd take another 23-second clip and I would put that on Facebook for 4 p.m. Why does it all need to go out on every platform at the same time? That is highly unnatural as well. Not everyone who's on your LinkedIn
Right.
is going to be on at the same time as Instagram and vice versa. And you'll see on YouTube and all that as well. I've got a certain period of time. It's a 2-hour gap in a day where my audience shoots through the roof. That's between 3 and 5 p.m. in the UK time. And obviously you guys over there are, it's early morning or noon where you are or whatever it is. But it's early morning for the East Coast guys. And and I think, and it's obviously a nice time of day for the UK, and it's not too late for the guys in Eastern Europe. So that's why I've got that peak time for my audience. So I think you've also got to try and test different platforms and different audiences because, it's going to be different. And that for me is how I would do it if I was you. I'd be going, right, one video, one platform, one reel, one platform.
Right. Different times.
Yeah.
And different times of the day.
Just to try stuff out. You get the
Right.
analytics on it and you'll be like, oh, fuck, there's no point in posting at 9 o'clock at night with some fucking SEO bullshit because no one wants to see that at that time of night. So, maybe people want to see more fun things at night on a specific platform. So, yeah, different times, different audiences, and who are you trying to get in front of? Because I'm going to make the assumption again that you don't just deal with US clients. You could probably get people from all over, from the US right across to Australia, probably. So, what is the right time for you? That's something you need to figure out. And the only way you're going to do that is by testing.
It is very interesting in thinking about that. I am going to test this a little bit because I mean, on the surface, it makes sense. Obviously, it's more work. Well, I'm a lazy bastard. I'm not doing it, so my my team member is. But it's going to take more work on her end just to kind of lay that stuff out that way. But on the surface, it makes sense to me. The only reservation, and I'm going to use a completely different vehicle as a I use a email a CRM product, send out our weekly emails, right, to my email list. And I have played around with how to send that out. And it's got a good, hey, this is kind of your best time for open. So, right. So I can hit it, send it all out at once in this kind of targeted, this is typically a better, time for you. Here's a window. Or the CRM also has what they call a predictive send, meaning based on you, Craig, me, Chris Palmer, when you are going to open that email, it will predict it based off of your habit or pattern, send it to you at that time. So Craig, it might send it to you at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It might send it to me at 10 a.m. in the morning, right? Might send to Palmer at 9 o'clock at night, right? So predictive sending. But what I have found by doing that predictive sending, it actually is like I get lower metrics than if I just shotgun it all out at once.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even know why that would be, because
I know you would think it would be like, no, it shouldn't work that way.
Yeah, certainly send that out through different time zones would make perfect sense. But the only thing I don't think you can really judge the two, because obviously email open rate, people will open it or they won't. The problem you've got with social media and reels and stuff like that is they show it to a small audience first to gauge the traction, and then open it out and open it out. So you need that initial fucking bang on social media to then be shown to a wider audience. They give you a bit more, and if it's still going well, they give you a bit more. So I think just with the way that the algorithm works on social media platforms, which are based on the kind of initial traffic that you get, I don't know if you could compare the both, but it's weird.
I don't know either. That's why I was just like, a relative kind of thing. But
yeah, I don't know if I would trust the AI. That's the thing. See, when you're using that creative or whatever the fuck it's called, to send your shit out, is it even sending it? Like, how could you possibly get a lower open rate doing it more strategically than?
I know, that's exactly right. I was kind of dumbfounded by this. And I've done it multiple times. Like, all right, I am just going to do this predictive send like for the next month, right?
Yeah.
And I send something out once a week is all I send stuff out to. I'm like, I'm going to do it once a month, for a month, and we'll see what happens. And maybe those emails were just shit, and so I got a lower open rate, lower metrics anyway. But I'm not kidding you that it's just like, man, they just don't hold up. And I've just kind of shotgunned, intermittently, like, let's try predictive now, and let's see it on this one, see if it works. And they just almost every time they get a lower metric than if I just, and I just kind of throw up, like, I've got a window. It's kind of like from about 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or somewhere right around in there, right? And I just like, all right, 11:23, boom, here it all goes. And then tends to like drive a better metric. It's crazy.
It's fucking mad. But again, people like us, I won't just say you, people like us are looking for something to blame. We're going, it's that fucking that predictive fucking thing. Nothing to do
with
me. It's a fucking shitty old email, some shitty fucking ChatGPT crappy email or whatever. You're like, fuck, Randy, come on, man. It's
not me. I send out good shit. It's good.
There was a woman once, and she had like 45 drinks one day. Her and her husband had like 45 fucking drinks, and
drinks,
like alcoholic drinks, like drinking all day. And the next day, I seen her, and she's like, "Fucking hell! I think there was something wrong with that fucking water in here." Blaming the fucking water, going, "I've got the fucking shit," and I'm like, what? Nothing to do with the fucking 45 alcoholic drinks that went down your fucking neck. It's the water. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck me. Is
that a true story, really?
That's a fucking true story. But people do. They'll fucking blame everything but themselves. Like, they never go,
that is
fucker, you had too much. That can't come out of people's mouths. I'm not saying you would do it, but that's the equivalent of you having a night out and then turning up to see me the next day and, going, oh, fuck, I had a dodgy kebab. Oh, it must have been the dinner or that fucking restaurant and all that. It's like nothing to do with you. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking definitely the cook at the restaurant or the water was off or whatever. So, but it's, Yeah, we're always looking for
Oh,
something to blame, and maybe, just maybe. But that predictive one, that's a bizarre
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I've got to admit.
Well, that is a great idea, though. One clip, one platform, doing it different times. I'll have my girl kind of run through that. We'll do that for a few weeks. We'll see if we get a little better uptick on kind of engagement on some of these things. I, you know, and I don't think that they're doing this yet, but I'm kind of surprised that YouTube doesn't kind of create kind of like a built-in Opus clip kind of uh, um, tool in there.
I'm surprised myself because even Restream does it, Randy. I don't know if you've noticed, but
Yeah, yeah.
you finish this, take about half an hour later, you get an email saying there's some clips available from, your live
Right.
stream or whatever. So I could use that as well, to put stuff out there. And yeah, I'm surprised that YouTube don't just do it. Well, maybe it could be built in. You just click a few and schedule them to go out.
Well, I'm sure I'm surprised they don't do it just as a means of like, hey, and for another, $5 on this video, we've created, 10 clips that we think are going to be great. And it would seem like people would like eat that up. Like, okay, great. Here's stuff that even YouTube must think that this is going to be dynamite. So it must work. And
The only, and I always like to play devil's advocate. Would you really want to open that up like freely and easily? Because YouTube probably gets
oh,
spammed already, so
yeah,
to death. So it would go tenfold the amount of videos that were uploaded, and could their servers and stuff function with that? I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe, but the resource behind that could probably be why it's not there. Um, Make it a little bit more difficult so that the lazy bastards
maybe.
like Randy can't
uh,
just fucking shill them out on
Yeah.
autopilot.
Well, they could always probably just say, it's like cap it, right? 3. We've created 3 clips for you. Here you go.
Yeah, because
Off of the
if every person done that, the fucking thing's gonna collapse.
Yeah, but if every person did that and handed them $5,
Oh,
they'd be like they'd figure it out, I'm sure.
yeah. Yeah, it would be a great upsell. It would be a great feature, even if it wasn't an upsell. If it was a freebie, even better. But
Well, sure, but yeah.
but no, I wouldn't mind paying for it, mate. Like if someone said, pay extra 50 quid a month or something, you'd be able to upload all these reels
Right,
automatically after it.
right.
Absolutely.
And to your point, because original content, right, has gotta be critical, and so there's probably a lot of lazy bastards like me that are just loading it all up and shotgunning it across all platforms, so I've got my short that's on YouTube, on Reels, on TikTok, on Facebook. But if YouTube did something like this,
Even
and then you couldn't download it or anything, but
yeah.
it could only reside on YouTube,
Well,
I
that's
would
what I was
think
gonna
you
say. Even
yeah,
if it was just for YouTube Shorts, I would still pay the money. I'd be like, "Fuck you, that's
I
that
would
covered."
too.
And then just worry about the other platforms after
Yeah,
that.
I
Because
would too.
YouTube Reels works very well for me, to be fair, when I can be asked doing it, is the is the big thing. But, I think, it's a massively untapped thing. People go, "Oh, fuck." In fact, my PT guy messaged me the other day and he went, "Oh, I put this reel out and it fucking went crazy. Like, why is there 3,000 people watch this? Like a YouTube short or a reel or whatever it was." And I like, people love that shit. He went, "But why is it getting no likes or no comments?" I went, "No one really likes or comments on a reel. They just skip, skip, skip.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just fast, bite-sized content."
right.
And he's like, "But I need more likes on it." Yeah, and I'm like, "Dude, you can't force a like. Enjoy the traffic, the
Yeah,
engagement, whatever. But don't double down, worry about it too much." And he's like, but my subscribers are not going up. And I went, it doesn't matter. Like, you could have fucking 10 subscribers, and putting a short video out has every chance as someone who's got 15 million subscribers of going viral if the clip
right, right.
is worthy of going viral.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, that is interesting. I know just speaking from my own behavior when I'm watching shorts or reels, I rarely like or thumbs up or engage on a short video.
Yeah.
It's always like, oh, that's good. Next one. Oh, that's funny. Oh, there's Craig shaking his ass. That's really funny. Yeah. Yeah. So, that, but I just pass on. I rarely do a thumbs up. Maybe on you, I'd do a thumbs up, but
yeah, I'm the same. If I know someone or whatever, I'll give it, just so that they know I've fucking seen it and all
right,
that.
right.
Just that's the little kind of,
Yeah,
I know what
yeah,
you're up to, boy.
yeah. Attaboy.
But nah, I'm the same, and people consume shorter content in a different way, and they think it's all about the kind of subscribers and all that. But I think I can't remember who done it. I don't know if it was Gary V or someone like that. I think it was Gary V said it. He says he got another YouTube account which had like 10 subscribers or whatever. And he's like, this has every fucking chance of having the same impact as someone with 15 million. It's nothing to do. The YouTube Shorts is nothing to do with how many subscribers or any of that stuff. It's just it's that initial engagement again, and that something captures.
Right.
If you've said a crazy clip or whatever it may be, or something super interesting, that is what you need to shove out there, and and it's a right pain in the ass. So, like I say, Opus Clip or something like that are great tools to do it. And like I say, Restream itself, if you're doing live streams and stuff, which we do every week, and you've obviously got your live session on a Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yep.
So you've got 10 or 15 potential clips that could go out, and I can probably bet your bottom dollar fucking less than 5 go out, if at all. Because I'm the same. I am the exact same. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But it's just laziness.
Yeah. Well, I probably is. I don't know. I kind of have her send out so many a week, but we probably I send out more kind of static posts than I do reels or shorts. I'm sure I do that.
Oh, you do. I've seen your content. You're more of a static post than a reels guy. It seems so. I can tell.
Yeah.
Your SOPs, like, do this, take that.
Yeah. I might just tell her to even it up though. Now I'm just thinking about this. I might like, hey, let's even up, on the distribution. Same amount, static and reels, and just kind of ratchet that.
Here's a test for you, Randy. Obviously, you'll statistically have an average likes, views, or whatever on a static post that you get.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if you were to, I'm not saying stop doing the static post, but measure it against the reels. I would probably guess that more people would consume your reels than they would the static content. I would say, even if you did balance it out and test it, I think your balance is way off. I think it should be 80% reels, 20%. Who the fuck's reading big long form posts?
Here's the thing though, and especially, and I think depending upon the platform. So obviously on Instagram, sure. YouTube, sure. But on Facebook, you always get more engagement on the static posts, right? I'll get comments, I'll get the likes, right? All of the stuff that we were just talking about. Always more on a static post than I will if I post a reel out there. Or even if, like a live stream, like we're doing a live stream here and it's going out, and I am restreaming it as well out onto my Facebook page and on my channels.
I'm going to stop you there, Randy. I want you to open up your Facebook right now. Now, I want you to go to your last post, static post, and tell me how many people commented and liked that post.
All right, hold on. Let me flip this over onto this page. Here we are. We are doing. There's you and I. We're going. I'm going to like it ourselves right now.
Not that one. The previous one that you posted.
Yeah. Let's see. We got that. The last static one I had 23 likes or loves or whatever, and 4 comments and 1 share.
Right.
Not a lot. So nothing spectacular.
Go to the last reel.
The last reel that I put up, let me find a reel. That was my live. Let's see. I gotta find a reel. I got a lot of static shit. Or does it not do it? I might have to go look in a different way here. Because I don't think it
It's going to tell you how many views your reel got.
Yeah, it does. I was just looking on my posts. I'm like, where the hell are my reels? But I actually have to go to the reels.
Yeah.
And not post. Yeah, let's see. Oh, good old. So this is a reel that was a snippet from something I did with Marty Marion recently. Got no comments, but 115 likes. So almost 5 times as many, like kind of some sort of engagement.
Yeah, so
right?
5 times more. Now, you're automatically, because it didn't get any comments, thinking that it didn't perform as well. But if you're getting 5 times more exposure doing a reel than your fucking static posts, then what I've just said clearly stands to reason that you should be doing more of that. Because you also said at the start of this, you don't fucking click or comment or like any motherfucker's reels. User behavior does not do that. But if you're in a feed, you do naturally just like or comment or sling an insult in or whatever it may be. And people that, the Facebook feed and a Facebook reel are 2 different things. You just flip through reels. You're just doing your nosy. So I think, again, it would be unfair to sit there and say it's just based in comments. It's not. It's reach. It's watch time. It's all of that stuff. Because someone doesn't comment doesn't mean they've never seen it. And that, for me, if you're getting 5 times more views on a fucking reel, then you have to double down in that, regardless of what you think, because that's why I asked you to do that, because I know even if I put out the shittest of reels, it will probably get more views and more airtime than a lot of my static posts. What are you going to get? 100 likes, 200 likes, or whatever it may be on a post, if you're doing really well.
Right.
But dude, it stands to reason as well that what are you putting out? If I put out we're doing a live stream, it gets fucking 3 or 4 likes. If I put out a picture of Charlie, it gets fucking 150 likes. So you've also got to remember the type of content that you put out. If you're going to put out fucking Black Friday fucking deals or whatever it's going to be, I guarantee you it gets less likes and comments because no one can be asked for that.
You know what's funny though too is that you can put out these videos and or reels, and I'm just looking over. So what I was giving you was off of my. So Facebook is different, right? It drives me nuts, but so I have a personal page on Facebook, my profile page, which is the news guy. Then I also created a business page, the news guy, right? That one you can automatic, the business page you can schedule and put reels and videos out to. The profile one, I've got to manually essentially load that crap. That always drives me nuts. But if I look over on my business page, I don't have as many followers. I don't, because people just, they connect with me, right? They don't, and not my business page necessarily. I don't know if you do the same, if you're kind of the same way or not, but right. But I look at all of the videos over on my business page, and they're, or the reels or the, and kind of similar, right? I'm getting, probably 3 to 5 times more engagements or likes on the videos. Here's the thing on the video on that page anyways, because if I do ads, well, I can go and kind of target anybody who's watched videos and say, hey, if you've watched 3 seconds of any of my videos, that's who I want to target for this ad.
Yeah.
And that's pretty damn valuable if you're going to be running ads, right? That's almost far better than if I targeted people who engaged on my page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, because yeah, people could just engage in your page, just been doing them nosy, and they might not even fucking like you, and then you're spamming them, and then before you know it, you're getting an abusive comment going, "Why do I always see this fucker?" And shit like that. So
Oh, I do get some of that anyway.
oh, I've heard all of that. I've heard all of that. So yeah, obviously not everyone who looks at your shit likes you. So to retarget blindly based on any kind of fucking interaction with your page is maybe not the wisest thing to do. So
yeah, that's interesting. Well, clearly, we're in agreement that these videos are important. I have a question for you, and this is back to a comment that you had made earlier in regards to when you first send out a reel or a short, that initial engagement that happens is going then to determine how much broader the distribution gets, right? So if you get a lot of engagement early on, it's going to, the algorithm is going to try to push it out to more people to see really what kind of breadth this thing has. So with that, and guys, like us that kind of play around with this, do you do any CTR kind of activity on your shorts to try to make it go viral?
No, I mean, I have tried, and I think they can detect that quite quickly. I used to fuck around with it on TikTok and stuff like that. Now, when we say CTR, I'm not talking about boosting the post. I'm talking about real CTR,
Right.
the old dodgy way. And very quickly, I got a message saying, we're removing this and removing that because of unnatural views and all that stuff. So again, like I've said before, in the mastermind and in various other places, you're probably as cheap just sticking £10 behind the fucking post than going and paying £7 and getting some old fucking bot to do it or whatever. Because spending the 10 quid and getting real engagement is a much better spend than £7 and it's fucking fake as shit and could potentially harm your account. So absolutely, I think boosting it and all of that kind of stuff. The only other problem I see with that, Randy, is if you become over reliant on engagement from boosted posts, then I believe that the algorithm is expecting you to boost all your posts. So it's going to give you shit engagement until you boost the fucker. So that is obviously common practice on the likes of TikTok and stuff. People are like, don't fucking boost that stuff, because if you go through and you boost your next 10 videos, the 11th you put out is going to get shit engagement because it's they want you to pay. You're teeing yourself up for a beating there where I'm not saying don't do it at all, but I think be careful, don't become overly reliant on it. And that's where I think for any company, doesn't matter who you are, Randy, you can put out your commercial content. I'm Randy, I do this, I do that, PR service, whatever. But I also think there's other stuff, whether it be educational, inspirational, whatever. I think your shots should be full of that to suck people in to the industry you're in, because you're in a boring topic. The same as SEO and everything else. So that's sometimes how I do stupid things, or show something funny, or make a joke about someone, or whatever. Or if someone says something stupid or fumbles on a webinar or whatever, then I'm going to use that to try and lure people in. Just try because that's the best we can do in our industry. There's not so much fun you can have. Whereas obviously, you've got these influencers, both male and female, who go out there, just generic influencers. They're doing all sorts of crazy shit to get views. There's only so much crazy stuff we can do that is industry relevant. You know, you can't go out
Right.
bearing your backside and all that. People would just not work with you at that point. So we're kind of restricted somewhat. So that's where, again, you need to be a bit creative on what you put out, especially on the reels and stuff. I think you can be much more serious on the longer form content, but we have to come up with crazy stories.
I know that's the crazy thing. And that's, I was kind of leading into my next kind of topic on this idea, which is, really what is the most effective kind of content to use in, these short form videos and reels and such. And because I've seen you try to do some crazy stuff, right? Dancing around, shaking your butt, doing things. And, you do stuff with your son on a farting on a plane, and you're
the childish stuff wins all the time. Like it really does. You know, I could put out something really serious and probably really good in terms of information, but the fart with your son's always going to get more engagement. It just does, and that's another bizarre fucking thing. But you know, it doesn't mean don't put out the good stuff. I think that's where you need to balance it out. You can't just fart all the time and do stupid things, or otherwise go be a comedian or something like that. But you know, that's where I think you have to get that balance in place, because I think, you know, you obviously want to try and show there's a human side to someone and do the odd fun thing here or there. But it's bizarre because that shit always gets the most engagement, and it's so bizarre. Me shaking my ass, as you say, or all the kind of stupid things I've done, man, people just laugh their fucking heads off at it, and it gets views, but it doesn't win you money. That's the other thing.
I know, that's the whole thing. You do all of this time and it doesn't, like, where does it turn into the cheddar?
And I'm not fucking shaking that ass for free. And I don't want to be. I don't want to be. I keep hearing all these figures that everyone else is making for OnlyFans and all that, and I'm not even funneling them into an OnlyFans or anything like that. So, you know, you know, I wanted to do it just to test how far do you need to go to get different levels of engagement and stuff. And funny always goes well. Funny always.
I know, funny always. I would bet you, just in knowing and kind of talking, I would bet that short that you did with your son and you on the plane farting probably was one of your best performing videos, only because it did two elements that I know are home runs. Had your son in it, had the kid, right? And had the farting.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was like, oh yeah, that's good. That's home run.
Well, dude, it's strange you say that. You know, obviously when I post, even, you know, on Facebook or whatever, when I post my son, everyone fucking likes it. You know, every motherfucker. And you know, so that is a home run. And obviously a fart is always going to get a home run. You know, there'll be an odd person that says, oh, what a filthy bastard or whatever. And just for the record, it was a fucking fake fart. But you know, you've got to sit there and think, what are the home runs here? It's like, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but see if I wanted to get to you like in a negative way, you know, I could probably say, I don't know, one of your competitors is better than you or whatever. You've got to think in the same way. I know what I could throw to wind Randy up to get him agitated, but you need to think, what can I throw at my audience that is going to get them lifted, if that makes sense? Because we always think, you know, if I want to insult Randy, I can say something about this or that. But what can I do to make him laugh? And somehow that is a harder thing. You're like, what does Randy like, or what's his humor like, or whatever? And a lot of people don't. They always look at the negative. They never look at the positive. And they'll be like, yeah, I could call him this, or I could say that, or say so and so's better service and all this stuff. But they never think, how could I make him laugh? And I think that's the kind of mindset you need to get yourself into. And like you say, what's a home run, right? Charlie clearly gets engagement.
Yeah.
and the comical side of things, and people will just be like, "Psh," and it does, that's it, and you've got to play into that. What is going to get
Right.
those fuckers to click and watch, and
Yeah.
and obviously timing's key in it as well. We talk about shorts, Randy. That particular video was probably 5 seconds long, and no one wants to wait for the punchline or the fart. You could have done a sequence of events happening before the fart and all that stuff. No one wants to see that part. They just want to see the fucking punchline. The boom, there it is. That's it. In like 5, 7, 8 seconds. No one wants to watch. You've probably done it yourself, watching a fucking thing, and you're waiting. You're going, what is going to happen here? What is this? See when someone's saying, "What is this?" You've already lost them at that point.
Or when they put on the video as well on the short, watch until the end. Watch until the end to find out. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not
playing that game. That is so fucking lame. That is so obvious. And then there's nothing at the end. How many times have you sat to one of those videos and it fucking nothing does come up at the end? And
yes, exactly.
Then you automatically go to the comments and everyone says this is a fucking scam or whatever. But you don't. You watch until the end and then read the comments. Why are you not reading the comments first and then watching the video? So that
the poster already get the value of the watch at that point. The algorithm's already rewarding them.
Yeah, but that's because human behavior. The watch and then read the comments. Why would you never read the comments before you watch?
Yeah.
No one knows the answer to that fucking question, but that is what happens. And you've done it yourself. You've went fucking multiple times. You've read the comment and went, you fucking bastard. He's got his all. And that fucker's away, with all the engagement and his videos fucking popped all over the place. And, who's the dummy at that point? Is it you? Is it him? And you give yourself a kick under the table going, you fucking dumb bastard. You fell for that one. So, but sometimes if that's what you need to do to get engagement, then so be it. But you've seen it with podcasts and stuff as well. They always put the little clips at the start of a podcast now to suck you in, and with a couple of fucking heated moments in the podcast or whatever it may be, and then you're forced to watch that full podcast to find that fucking heated moment because you're like, oh.
Well, that's funny. I've started doing that, and now it makes for a good short as well. So in my weekly video content, I kind of build out a good teaser that's about a good 20 to 35 second or so teaser, right? And then I'm like, and then I'm like, hey, stick around, we're going to dig in, right? Or something, whatever. And then I've got like an intro reel that's like, woo. But I found that by doing that teaser, that it draws more people in. So my watch time on my videos has gotten longer because it's pulled people in deeper into the video. But as well, it makes for a great short. And what I see on YouTube is on those shorts, I think I'm getting even more click-throughs because people then are wanting to go to the actual video or go find the video. Where I'm kind of digging into whatever the teaser was.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That kind of strategy. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you're supposed to do. I think it's like a funnel. You're trying to funnel the longer thing, and you've got to be creative with even preparing for a podcast. You should be thinking ahead. What parts can I clip to get the teaser? Even jot that down and say to someone, I'm going to fucking ask this and I'm going to ask that and play into it rather than doing that whole watch till the end pish, because that's garbage. You've got to at least create something that looks controversial, even if it's not as controversial as you're making it look. You've got to give people that illusion, and again, it's hard work. It's not just plain and easy. It takes a bit of thought and a bit of strategy to go down that route, which is a pain in the ass, But I think that's certainly the way that I see it. I'm like, nah, you have to think bigger and better and even more strategic in the content that you put out. And we've done it before. We I think it was me and Kazra actually, and we done a podcast, and then after we filmed the podcast, I said to him, right, we're going to record a couple of other bits. The camera's going to be rolling for another 10 minutes. What do you think of this cunt? And it was people that I knew he didn't like or whatever. Or whatever. And I was just throwing him under the bus because he's like, why the fuck would you ask that on camera and all that stuff? But it was to get his reactions. Now, I didn't put out any kind of negative stuff, but
Right.
I got like the facials and me asking the question going, did that fucking person say this or do that or whatever? And then people were watching that and they're going, oh, fuck, there's going to be fucking fireworks on this podcast.
Yeah, right.
You're fucking lured in to see who we were gossiping about. And obviously those stories actually remain behind curtains.
Yeah, yeah,
It's never
those are
released
good.
that part. So, you know, you're trying to do that. And it was again just because Kaz was one of those guys you could, you know, when you're sitting and you throw him off, like by asking him something that you maybe shouldn't have asked him. His facial expression and everything are wild because he'll know the camera's on and, you know, because he's experienced it, that stuff. And you see him like, fuck. And you can see the panic in his face, which also makes me laugh. So, and I'm like, dude, you just need to trust me with this. You need to trust me with this. But yeah, we've done that and it worked well. And I think, you know, that's definitely the way to suck people in. And it's, did you see it in TikTok? Or I see it in TikTok locally.
Yeah.
Everyone's always fucking calling each other out. That fucking bastard, I'm going to go to the door and I'm going to fucking do this. And they said that. And drama sells. Drama,
Yeah,
absolutely
drama does sell. Yes.
And I'm not suggesting that anyone goes out and creates shorts fucking saying nasty shit about everyone else or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it clearly works on these platforms. And you've got
Well,
to do it.
At a point, as a not too distant past example, remember those two people, the employees, the CEO and his VP of HR that got caught on camera at a Coldplay concert?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. And I'm like, almost immediately, all of the kind of meme videos that were out there. I mean, it was like the drama plus the timeliness. And I think that's the other, you know, kind of home run thing. Like if you can latch onto something that's like trending timing and that's like you can make it funny, you know, that stuff tends to go, you know, can latch on. But that whole I was just fascinated watching that whole thing go off because I mean it just like exploded from a viral, and the stuff that people like, I was guilty of it too. Somebody would put out some funny meme, I'd be like passing that around to friends like, oh god, this is funny.
But have you ever stopped and thought, Randy, in those instances where you're like, did that even fucking happen, or was this a stunt
Yeah.
that was played? And sometimes when I see controversy now, you're like, I don't know if this is a wind up or I don't know if this is marketing or
Right.
this actually fucking happened. And I think, you know, the more people involved with marketing and the you know, they're getting closer to the bone with certain things and all that. Man, I think it's going to be in the future. You're going to not fucking know the difference between marketing and the fucking truth.
I think you're absolutely right. Yes.
So I think that's obviously something to concern. That's concerning about these kind of things because you're like, come on, that happen? I think it happened here with COVID. There was certain politicians and stuff who were out drinking and grabbing women's asses in the office and all that stuff, and it was all over the papers. And you're like, that's got to be market. That's a stitch up, man. It's got to be. I don't know if it was or not, but you're like, somebody's at the wind up here. Someone is at the absolute piss take, and you know, they're all sitting fucking drinking wine, and we're all fucking locked up, and you're only allowed out for an hour for fresh air or whatever it was.
Right.
You know, all of that, and you're going, that has got to be that's a gaslight and a half. That it's you know, mad to think that could ever be real, but
It is true, though. I think the AI generated content is going to get. I mean, it's pretty darn good right now. I think it is going to get so much better yet and become so realistic, real life looking that I think it will be hard for people to discern. Like, is that real? Was that somebody really doing that, saying that? Yeah,
Oh, dude, I seen one today at some point. I can't remember what platform it was on, and there was Trump, Putin, the South Korean guy, and the Zelensky, the Ukrainian guy, and they were all sitting in the back of a boat playing chess and all that stuff. And then there's kind of song going on, uh, and Joe Biden was on it as well. And Kim Young Sung pushed Joe Biden in the face, and Joe Biden's face all started making all that, like, it looked as if he was angry. It was just it was AI, and someone's clearly told AI, go do this, go do that, make some
right.
spoof music thing or whatever it was. And I'm not joking, dude. It fucking looked real. It looked real. Like, I knew it was AI, but you're going, fuck me. The general public will fucking go, fuck. Those fucking five were all sitting in a boat playing chess. And that's where it gets slightly sketchy.
Yeah. It is crazy.
Just to finish up, Randy, what would you use to make AI reels? Would you use AI reels? Because we speak about plagiarism and maybe it not going well because your content's not great, and or your content looks like AI or plagiarized.
Right.
Would you even consider AI for your reels?
For doing some reels? Well, I did for a period of time. I used a platform. I have to go back and look at it, what the name of it is. I think it was Woxo or something like that. WOXO.
Mm-hmm.
That made like AI generated kind of stuff, shorts. And that was interesting. I just kind of played around with that for a couple of weeks. But the question, would I consistently use AI generated on my channel? Probably. If I did, probably just in small doses, like, as a percentage, like maybe 10% max.
Yeah. No, I was just curious if you would do it, because obviously, what we've said there, shaking asses and everything else, you might not be comfortable doing that or performing that in front of a camera. You could get AI to do it, and you could even make it look like you had a nice ass. So
but yeah, it's all, you can just do all different kinds of things with it. And yeah, I know. I still come back to, and the reason why I wouldn't rely more heavily on it is because I think that there will become a time that real people will be rewarded for their content above AI generated content.
Like I said on the session last week, you're not going to be able to monetize stuff that's using AI and stuff like that, and things like that. They already, YouTube came out and said, like, that stuff's not. Yeah, I mean, you can do it,
right,
you can put it out and all that stuff, but you're not going to be able to make money doing that shit. So I think there will come a time where they're just like, nah, we're only going to rank people who put in the grind.
Well, I think not only even just the ranking, but I think ultimately, I guess I'm a believer in humanity. I think that people will go like, no, I'm so sick of AI this, AI that they just want to see the real person, the real deal. And with all your pimples and hairy ass and everything.
Oh yeah,
right?
That's what I'm going to win long term.
Yeah, exactly.
And bank say, I need that fucking hairy ass. We hated his accent at the start, but we need him back. We miss him.
We need him. We need that. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with you. You'll never get that accent AI generated. Have you ever played with your voice to get it cloned?
I've not,
Like,
but
like 11 Labs,
a few
right?
people have done it on my behalf, and I can tell
I've heard some people do yours, and it's not there.
It's not
Yeah.
there. It's not good. You know, I heard Holly of all people try it on
Right.
me, and I think she done Chris, and I think Chris sounded like Chris, but me and Holly was like, "Oh, it's a perfect copy of you," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"It's not." If you talk to me on a regular basis, you'll know. If you
Yeah.
hear that, you'll know that's not me.
Yeah.
So maybe people that speak to me on a more frequent basis would be like, "That's not him." Maybe it would work to people who have not really heard me a
Right.
lot
Right.
before or whatever. So, but when I hear it, I'm like, "Oh no, that ain't fucking me." So I've never tried it myself, Randy, and I'm kind of under I fucked around with what do you call that one? Oh, Hey Jen and stuff, and made a little avatar of me and stuff, but I'm not. I'm as quick just turning out the video and just crank
Yeah.
up the camera and just say what I've got to say, and why use AI?
Yeah. No, I think it's good.
So I'm going to stick with that and
I think you're on the right path.
see where it
Yeah.
gets me, which is probably not very far, but we'll keep trying. We'll keep
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, I've done my voice on using 11 Labs and using the Pro Clone. So I've done that because I've done a couple of videos with just using my voice clone. Like I have a podcast that we use as part of our services, the News Guy podcast, and I did an intro and an outro with that changes with every time we do one, right? So mentioning like, hey, Craig Campbell, blah, 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 blah. And so I'm changing the vendor or the client or whoever that we're working on the podcast with. And so I use the clone voice and it sounds pretty good. It does sound pretty realistic. Now, my wife would, to your point, somebody that you engage with every day. My wife's like, yeah, it's kind of, I don't, I mean, but on the fly, I think for the most part, people are like, oh, yeah, that's that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it could
I
work
think,
for you. It could.
yeah. Your accent, though, I think would be hard. But
Yeah.
anyway.
But I think in a wider marketing sense, you probably could get away with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, we are out of time.
We are. Good show, buddy.
So yeah, hopefully people enjoyed it. If you've got anything you want to add, please do add it in the comments, and please do check out the News Guy. The logo is above, the link is below if you're interested in digital PR or LLM feeding. Is that the right? What do we call that? LLM feeding the LLMs.
Feeding the LLM data set.
Yeah, we'll call it that. So you can go over to the News Guy for that, and of course,
Oh, hold on, I got to get something else in here for you too.
go.
Craig Campbell, SEO, loves nerds.
That was done in the last video.
I'm just pushing it along.
Pushing that along. But yeah, so and also check out Randy on YouTube. He's got his, I don't know who the guest is tomorrow. Who's the guest tomorrow, Randy?
I've got Terry and Elizabeth Samuels coming on tomorrow because we are talking about their digital marketing conference. That's a virtual conference. It's next week. So we're going to kind of run through that, who their guests are, what some of the stuff they're going to be teaching. Yeah, it's going to be a great conference. So people and cheap too, like $300 you can get all 5 days. I mean, it's like, wow.
5 fucking days.
Yeah, and they got a massive lineup of some really good people, some good talent. Yeah.
They do good stuff and know a lot of good people. So
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be awesome as always. I'm a bit gutted I can't sit around the pool for that one, but but yeah. But anyway,
There we
guys, we'll catch you at the same time next week, and see you later.
All right. Thanks, everybody.